what's up everybody? 72 Fins. Want to bring you another clip of me excavating some farm equipment here. So, anyways, I came up with the title for this whole series. I guess you call it. Gonna be 2 or 3 parts, I think, with this being part 2. Called it Midwest Metal Husking. As a kind of a corn joke thing, because corn grows inside of a husk, and in this reference you'd think that, well, and the husk grows outside the corn, so the woods have enveloped and covered up the farm equipment, which I'm trying to get out. Since the farm equipment's made of metal, I qualify as the corn, and peeling all this stuff away, the dirt and the trees and whatnot, that'd be the metal husking. And just, hey, it's in the Nebraska, middle of the country, why not? It works. Hey, that's the best one I can think of, title I could think of. I just couldn't come up with anything. Kind of a little annoyed myself that I didn't right off the bat. But anyways, in part 1, there's a whole bunch of trees and junk and wooded area up in the area where I was trying to work at. So I'm back here again, and now you can see that it is a lot clearer. Oh, there's some of my tools and stuff of where I've gone to get this thing to work. That's a pretty wide area, and I've cleared out straight towards the direction where my finger's pointing. I cleared out a whole area down there enough where I took all the trees and junk and put them into a big pile over there with my sawzall and with my gloves and my coveralls and sweatshirt and pullover sweatshirt and, yeah, hoodie, whatever you want to call it, zipper sweatshirt, to get all the weeds and prickly junk and stuff out of my way. So now you can see that old planter is right out in the open. So now I can explain of what is probably going to be the next step, which is a lot trickier of getting this stuff out, is the fact that now I can see in this part that how bad in the dirt that disc is. A lot better now that I have stuff cleared out of my way. You can tell where the disc is because it's where my finger's pointing right there. You can see how, if that's supposed to be a whole circle, how it's in the dirt pretty well. And then there's a part in front of that, I don't know what it is, but not for sure. And so now you can see how the wheel is really, like, well, 2/3 of the way sunk in to the dirt by a good amount here. See if that'll make it any clearer. That might help right there. Yeah. So now the trick is it's right up against. The thing is I gotta try to get it out of here. But now that I can see better, here's the problem. After sitting for all these years on the elements with the water and rust and just being exposed to Mother Nature here, things seize up and they don't work as well as they should, and they don't move at all, hardly. And this thing is just really, really old to begin with. Not that it doesn't make it any less cool, which I still think it's cool, like I said in the first part, but yeah, nothing's gonna turn on it the way it should. And having to move this out by hand would be impossible, because the rust has caused all the gears and stuff to lock up, which won't make it roll very easily, or at all at this point. So I'm going to try my best to explain how this works. I'm not very knowledgeable about it, but anyways, here is the axle that runs from side to side where the wheels are. To the left side all the way over to the passenger side. And where that chain is, which is right there, the gears, it's gear driven, so let's see, the gear turns all the way from the axle all the way up to the front, runs all the way, okay, let me try it again, all the way from right, all there, all the way to right here. I'll spin around and get a better shot of that. Right here where there's this other gear. Right here, which is where I got my, which runs right around like that. And that turns some gears which are right here, which turns your little planter mechanisms or whatever it is that makes them work. I never seen one of these in action, but I always think it would be cool to see one of them in action, but that's not my concern here, but I'm just trying to get out and help somebody out. So yeah, with the gear on the back there running to right here where it hasn't been oiled up inside this big old gearbox right there, that could be a definite concern here. So okay, so the problem with the chain here is, sorry, I had to splice this together. Not very proud of it, but for some reason my camera preview screen has been going kind of dark where it's impossible to see it, and I have to turn it on and off a few times to get it to work back and forth. Not really worried about my camera anymore because I don't use it that much. I just care enough about it to get it to work, because yeah. Anyways, so what next step to do to try to get this thing out of here would be is to get it to roll. But with this chain going to the axle to a rusted, locked up gearbox in the front here isn't going to help anything. Now, my guess is going to be, and if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to talk to a few people, or maybe try to research this on the internet or something to try to figure out how to do this. But is to take the, I'm going to try to get a shot right here, is to get, you can see how there's the teeth on the gear right here, the gear that the chain's on right here, and how it sets, there's the link right, let me find it, right there, how the hole in the link sets on top of the tooth. Now, the axle is more than likely still rusted up, but I figure if I can pop the, so it might have trouble rolling even once I get it out of the ground, I have to persuade it with a little bit of WD-40 here, which loosens up rusted parts and locked up parts. You just lift the little nozzle here like this, and you just hit the button here and like that. Oh, wait. Hit whatever you want and let it sit for a bit. So now the only way to get that off is try and peel this off here by hand. It's kind of tricky because the only way I can gain some, now there's already a little bit of, sorry, I'm explaining this really horribly, but try and get enough slack to pry this off here. I can push that up by hand, the bottom part, but it's, see, it doesn't give me very much just by hand. And this pedal right here, I can slide it off the pedal, whatever that's for, my hand like that, and gain myself some slack. Now what also doubles as what also I use for my jack handle for my hold on a second here. Sorry. Hold on a second here. I can see I got my jack here. I'm going to use it to get the wheels out of the dirt and whatnot. You know, to give it a better chance it's stuck in the ground and level things out. I'll use some like cinder blocks here and 2x4s and maybe some vehicle jack stands, which can raise up to keep it elevated up in the air at a certain height. So yeah, use that to get it off the ground. But back to my point here is I can take my tire iron here. You can see how it has a right there, how it has a point. Come on, right there, where it can go in between the hole of the chain. Now, so what I'm going to do is take that and use it to see what I'm doing here. Sorry. Okay, hold on a second. And use that to pry the chain off there to disconnect the gearbox from the axle to see if that'll get it to roll. So that's going to be my first attempt, and like I said, if that doesn't work, I'll have to look into it and I'll have to research it some more. I've got a few people I know who might have an opinion on this, but I'm not for sure. But anyways, that's going to do it for part 2 of Midwest Metal Husking. Thanks for watching.